going to ask you that.
Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast, stories of inspiration, where we talk about mental health, addiction, religion, becoming a business owner and self-sufficient, for what, when, where, and why. Join us and we can be your local hope dealer.
Inspiration and dedication. I came a long way from sleeping in them pages. I got my life back, I feel amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money, hard work lead to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned into the prisoner to painter. Prisoner to painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner to painter.
And now, a word from your local hope dealer.
Load. Okay. And we are live. Welcome to the Prisoner Painter podcast. I am Katie McDermott.
I'm Katrina Forbes.
And so Katrina, tell us who you are, what you do, kind of synopsis before we get started.
Okay, so I'm Katrina. I am the director for the Hillsdale Drop-In Center. So I run a drop-in center out there. It's a mental health based type deal. Oh God, I got nervous. I'm like, oh, that's fine. So I work with people who have a mental health diagnosis, and in order to be there, you have to have that to be in. But a lot of times, like, it's people that are all over the place. Sometimes you see people who have both, like I do, the substance use disorder plus the mental health. A lot of times we have a lot of people that do come in there that are homeless. And essentially what it is we provide a resource for people who have that mental health illness.
Okay. So, as Nathan would say, we start from childhood to where you are now. So, what was your family dynamic like growing up?
Like Shameless. Think of that, but like the dad's present a lot of times, and so was my mom. It was just a fucked up scenario.
Okay. Siblings?
Yes, I have 2 siblings, my brother and sister, and then later on down the road, my dad happened to get remarried after my mom passed, and now I have 3 stepsisters and an adopted sister.
Okay.
So,
give me like a little synopsis of what like childhood was like. I'd say like preschool, early elementary years.
My family history, like I said, is a little fucked up. So, I started off with my real mother, which I do not know now. I call her my egg donor. My dad ended up taking me away from my mom. So I don't have a lot of childhood memories, and the ones that I do aren't the greatest because, your brain does this defense mechanism. It's like, oh, hey, guess what? We're going to sweep this under the rug.
Mm-hmm. You don't remember anything. Yeah.
Ta-da! We're protecting you. So my dad ended up taking me. He ended up meeting who would raise me later on that I would call mom, Bobby. So early childhood, she adopted me. They both raised me. So like kindergarten, first, second grade, I don't remember too much. I can tell you there was a lot of fighting. I was bullied, picked on. Mom and dad were both alcoholics. My dad is sober now, has been for a while, but throughout my whole childhood, that's the scene between them two is severe alcoholic.
Did you do any extracurriculars in school?
Yes. So they had to hold me back and I would do like after school where the teachers would help me read and write. And I got really into reading and writing because I got really good at it. So later on, like I would do like essay contests and stuff like that, along with drawing. I'm really good at arts and crafts. I did some sports, and I wasn't really a huge fan of a lot of the sports. I liked soccer. It wasn't something like I later on pursued, you know, in preteens or teenage years.
Oh, Miss Princess. Drawing a blank. So what was middle school like? Do you remember?
I do remember middle school, and actually I think that's where I first started really struggling. So like 6th to 8th grade, the abuse in my home got a little bit worse. My dad would try to stay sober, I noticed, but my mom was drinking till like sun up till sundown. She was one of those ladies that could drink a half gallon of Captain Morgan beer and still function. And then at nighttime, she would drink more and more till the point like she would black out. And I remember like my hormones emerging, you know, us getting into it all the time. And later on, I just, you know, learned how to either be quiet or give my mom a reason to hit me. So that's like, I would go to school with bruises. I'd tell, you know, stories of where I got those bruises. I was constantly lying for my mom because she would always tell me, if you think the grass is greener on the other side, go ahead and go. So I got really depressed, you know, kind of an outsider, which I mean, like I'm already very introverted as it is, but I got even more introverted because I didn't feel safe in my home. So
Would you say you struggled with school because of like neurodivergency or because of abuse, or maybe both?
a little bit of both. There was times like I would do things and I would get yelled at it, and that like I couldn't control necessarily what I was doing. So early childhood, you know, I learned how to try and lie and not say anything, because if I did, then they wouldn't understand and I didn't feel safe or heard in my home.
I'm sorry. Did you get to have like, I'm going to say normal childhood just because, you know, it's a word people use. Did you have like normal friend experiences? Did you have friends over? Did you get to go to friends?
I had very, very selective few of friends were allowed to come over. And I honestly wasn't allowed to go anywhere. And I didn't understand that till like later on. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it, because of the situation in my house was so fucked up. I think that my mom was actually scared that I would say something. So I was very sheltered as a child, which later on kind of like led me to rebel the way I did.
How was like starting high school? Is that like
High school, that's where I got kind of mixed up with the wrong crowd. I started experimenting with like weed and drinking, but it wasn't like anything heavy or anything like that. The friends that I did hang out with and considered friends, my mom and dad didn't like them. You know, I couldn't bring them around the house. I wasn't allowed to go to their house. And as a high schooler, you're sitting there and watching everybody else go over and, you know, do sleepovers and hang out or go to the movies in the mall. And I was not allowed to do that. So I kind of just learned how to be my own person by myself. So
did you go to prom?
Yes, I did go to prom. Actually, so I got asked in 10th grade. My dad said no. So I was like allowed to go my 11th grade and 12th grade year. So that was actually a really cool experience. But 11th and 12th grade was like after my mother passed away.
Oh, tell me a little bit about that. Like, how old were you? What happened?
16, close to 17. She passed when I was in high school. I remember actually walking to the bus stop. My sister and my mom got into it. And that day, my sister, for the first time ever, said, "I hate you, Mom." We all went to school. I remember walking up, and my grandpa's truck's there, and my grandpa's outside crying, and I've never seen my grandpa cry. So until recently, because of my aunt passing away. So, but she passed away. Fatty.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
Yes, and heart disease. Because she did stop like abruptly before, but she didn't stop in time enough for like her liver to actually heal itself, and she was already overweight, which caused the heart disease. So she didn't quit enough in time for it to repair.
Oh. Did you have like romantic relationships in like middle school, high school, or is that something you waited?
I had one boyfriend, and I remember like his name is Spencer.
Spencer.
Was allowed one boyfriend actually, and like I remember him breaking up with me, and it was like the end of the world. I cried for 3 days. And essentially what it was is he was trying to peer pressure me into fucking having sex with him. So sorry, I swear a lot.
That's okay.
And I kept telling him no and no and no, and I wasn't comfortable, especially, you know, as a child, I was sexually assaulted. So like, it's not something that has ever set real well until later on when I started using drugs. So, and finally, he called me up over the phone, and we broke up, and it was like the end of the world. I remember being so distraught, and I'm like, ugh. I thought he was cute.
So, assault is something, I'm going to tiptoe around it because it's sensitive.
Yes.
Was it somebody close to you? Was it family? Was it?
Not necessarily family. It was, so like when I was staying with my real mother, she would leave random strangers with me. And then they would, you know, touch me in ways that I shouldn't have been touched. So.
At what point did you realize like how you were growing up wasn't normal or right?
I don't know. Probably in my teenage years when I started getting that yuck feeling with the first boyfriend, the way he was pressuring me, and I'm like, something right here, you know, doesn't sit right. I can't do this. That's when it started really occurring. Like, all right, this isn't normal. This is, you know, something that is more so learned behavior and a cycle. So.
Did you graduate?
No, I did not actually. I dropped out my senior year. I was 2.5 credits shy, which later on I went and did the GED. So, but fucking 2.5 credits shy, and it was because of attendance.
Oh.
Yep.
So did you start like skipping school or just not going due to other reasons?
Yeah, I got it to a point where like, so I've always had a job, even younger years. Like I did the paper out, and then when I turned 15, my parents signed a little work thing, the release. I remember skipping school, and I had my mom's cell phone, which back was when Sprint was a service provider. So I got the bright idea, like, oh, hey, I'm going to go down to the office and change the phone number for when you miss and they call, you know, the parents' line. So I changed the phone number, and that would just skip and do stupid shit. Like we would go across the street, or another fun game, the hall monitor, we would make them try and find us and chase us. So
where'd you go to school?
Jackson High.
Oh, okay. So what was Jackson High like?
Hectic. I didn't mind it. I got into a lot of different things that I shouldn't have. Rebelled a little bit, but some of the teachers, like still to this day, I did French, and I remember my French teacher, Miss Thomas. She was fucking amazing. There's certain teachers there that actually like really stood out and did their job and went above and beyond.
So parlez-vous Francois?
Barely any. Too many drugs.
I can ask if you speak French, and then I can sing like nursery rhymes.
I know what is it? The Oscar Mayer song.
In French.
Yes.
That's cool.
The one thing that stuck with me is
How do you
that.
say wiener in French?
I don't know. Who is it? The Boney? Ma Bologna? Say the Boney song.
I thought there was the word wiener in it, but
Nope.
I guess my brain just, I don't know why. I do know that candle in French is bougie.
Is it really? Bougie.
Anyways,
Correct. Candle.
so how did dropping out look? Like, what was the process of that?
So me and my dad got into it. He ended up kicking me out. I had moved in with my soon-to-be baby daddy's mom and then best friend after, because me and her got into it and she was verbally abusive and threatened me. So I decided to chase her with a knife.
Oh, were you clear-minded?
Yeah, no.
So you just got that mad?
Yeah. We suffer from, mental health as well.
Yes. So how was the period after you dropped out to adjusting to moving and being on your own? Were you using at this point, or
not quite yet? So I moved in. I ended up not finishing school with my best friend's mom, and she was very supportive. She was there for me and Alyssa both. So I think after that I ended up getting a apartment in, I don't know the name now, Springport Glen. It's called something else. No, it was called Polo Clubs. It's called Springport Glen now, with my friend Michelle. And that's when I moved in, baby daddy, soon to be baby daddy, and then started experimenting with coke. I was drinking, I was smoking weed. Things started to get a little bit hazy and out of control. Not to a point that I was a full blown drug addict yet, but it was more experimenting. We were partying. Instead of going to school or working, I got to a point where I didn't want to do neither. So you got to work to pay bills. I ended up not working. Actually, I gave some money to a friend to go buy weed so I could flip some weed, and he got robbed.
Oh.
And come to find out, what it was is he used to get so blackout drunk that he would fall out of cars and stuff.
Oh.
And fuck himself up, running. I just got jumped by those guys down the street. So that's he stole the weed, fell out of the car. We all believed it.
How did you meet your baby daddy?
Actually through a friend of mine in high school. My friend Amanda, we used to hang out, and I met him through her. So, and I remember having a crush on him in high school. He was still kind of cute, later on, but we ended up getting together and we stayed together for over 10 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was very, very toxic relationship.
So was he using, and that's how you started experimenting with stuff, or
he was a habitual pot smoker, and then from what I know, he did snort coke, but come to find out later on in life, I guess he was smoking crack. And then we kind of both ventured out into using heroin and meth together.
Okay. I had a question and it eluded me. What was your favorite cereal as a child, by the way? I never asked you that.
Still to this day, Corn Pops.
Okay. Why?
The texture.
Favorite cartoon?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The 80s. From the 80s?
Yes,
Okay.
the original.
The
not
Teenage Mutant
yeah.
Ninja. Okay. So, do you think weed's a gateway drug?
Not really, no.
No?
No. It didn't really lead me into other things. It was my mindset. Oh, hey, what's that? I've always been that person, like, I'm curious. I'm going to find out. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So
how did you move into like heroin?
So me and baby daddy get together. We procreate a child. And shortly after, giving birth, I had a cesarean. They prescribed me pain pills. Kind of got a little addicted to those, but later on, like, I would keep going back because I have really bad periods, and that was their solution was, oh, hey, here's some Norcos. Oh, hey, here's some more Norcos. So the pain pills eventually led to me snorting heroin, and then later on, a friend was like, why are you snorting it? That's a waste. And I shortly became, an IV drug user. So.
How old were you when you gave birth?
21 for my first child. And I do believe he was 15 and my youngest is 12.
What was it like becoming a mom?
Scary. So like with me knowing how my real mother was, I was fearful of that. And unfortunately, I didn't get to break that cycle. So
I think like you did though.
I didn't do it in time, but everything is meant for a reason. I don't think it would have been fair to them to go through what I had to go through to get where I'm at. So as much as I hate the system and how fucking rigged it is, my kids got very, very lucky and got adopted by a really freaking fantastic lady. So, and she's raising them right. She has both of them together. I get updates about them all the time. Now, remind you, my rights were took. So that means it's not like an open adoption. It is closed. So the fact that she even communicates with me and sends me pictures, it's truly a gift from the universe.
So you kind of get hooked on pain pills after you gave birth.
Yep.
How long would you say until you were using intravenously?
After my second child.
Okay, so how
Second child, had my first one in 2010, 2012, so 23. I was almost 24. I had Bobby, and I remember getting an apartment at the Shahans, and was still doing the pills, started snorting heroin, but beforehand, like, I was actually selling heroin, and then went into snorting, and then, like, we moved. I quit doing heroin for a little bit. We moved to Kentucky. I ended up finding heroin down in Kentucky, started snorting it there. We came back, got prescribed the pain pills again, and that's when I got introduced to shooting it shortly after snorting it. And this is probably all within a 3-year time frame, three to 4.
And I know I kind of like, I'm gonna be all over the place because ADHD, but
Join the club, it's fine.
what was your first job? You said you quit working. So what were you doing?
So there used to, I can't think of the name of it. It used to be in front of Kroger's. It was like a pizza and sub shop, and it's the guy that used to own Andy's in no, not Andy's, the Margot's pizza joint. So at first it was just a sub shop, then they started doing the pizza things. I ended up quitting that one and going to KFC.
Was it Cascarelli's?
I can't think Anna's or oh my gosh.
Amy's Pizza.
Nope, I don't think it was Amy's. It started with an A. I know that, like, but it was the
Okay.
Kroger, you know, over here on East Michigan.
Yeah.
Right in front, like in that area. Not where the mall strip is, like right in front.
Like where that like kayak shop is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And how long did you do that?
Oh God. Maybe 6 months. Ended up quitting that, and then I think it was only 6 months. It wasn't a very long term first job. I stayed at KFC, the one on Michigan, East Michigan, for like 3 years. So that one was more long term.
Did you like working at KFC? Like, was it cool? Was that all right?
It was cool. The people there were pretty funny and stuff. Like I remember going out before, 21 years old and getting drunk at Avenue billiards.
Yeah.
And stuff, playing pool. Yeah.
Okay. So, how did you go from a downer to an upper?
Okay, so I had this genius idea, actually. What had happened was, so I wanted to quit heroin. And my friend Chelsea, who is no longer here, was like, hey, I don't do heroin anymore. We do meth. And that's how I quit heroin. I was like, oh, okay. Let's try that.
Now,
I did successfully quit heroin for a little bit.
but were you like your method of delivery, was it different? Or did you
started off snorting, then hot rails, and I was like, I wonder if we can shoot this. And indeed you can.
Okay. At what point did there have to be like CPS intervention and things like that?
As soon as I started trying to get off the heroin, and then the meth came along. I was staying over here on, oh my gosh, it's on the east side. Plymouth? Nope. Pleasant. My friend was nice enough to let us rent her house. However, we were good with rent for a short time, and then as things started spiraling out of control, rent was starting to be less and less of a worry for us. So CPS one day showed up on my doorstep. I remember it was summertime. They were called due to drug use. I don't know who called. I invited them in my home. So after that started a very long process. I did get sober a little bit, not a substantial amount. Where it was to a point where when they did do the mouth swabs, I was passing them. And then shortly after that, they kind of stopped coming around for a few weeks. And then I thought I was all clear, and I went right back out, and the case was not closed. So I actually had a warrant out for shoplifting. I started using again, got picked up on the warrant, and as I am sitting in jail doing my 93 days, CPS stepped in again. Baby daddy didn't test negative, so they removed the kids. And not only did they remove the kids because of him dropping dirty, but he actually put his hands on my youngest child and left a mark. So, and this is all all going down why I'm behind bars and can't do anything. So,
did you know, or did you get out and it was it hit you all?
I had actually CPS come and ask me who the next of kin would have been for them to go with. And at the time, I had a few options. My sister was too young to take on a child. I wouldn't want to do that. And I was kind of mad at my dad. I love him dearly now, but at the time, there was so many broken promises that didn't just happen to me as a child, but it was happening to the grandkids as well. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to give them to my dad. Fuck that dude. His sister, unfortunately, Zach's sister, wasn't able to take them because she had some issues in the past. And even though the allegations weren't against her, I guess it was against her kid's dad. So like whenever something like that happens, they automatically put you on a registry. So I had nobody in mind. My best friend at the time, Alyssa, said she would have took them, but she was also really young as well. So I really felt alone in that. I didn't have much family that I trusted. So they ended up putting both the boys into foster care. And that's actually, I got out. We were working towards the reunification process. I tried doing a detox at, I don't know what it's called now. It was called Washington Way then.
I think it still is. I don't know if
wanna
there's-
say maybe Henry Ford something.
Right over by like the Oaks and shit.
Got out, went back to using. I actually ended up talking to my caseworker for CPS. Went into detox. I think I made it like 12 days. Unfortunately, I was to that point where like I was using anywhere between like 3 to 7 grams of heroin a day.
Damn.
I remember like doing 0.5 gram shots, and the people that I was around like, oh, that's enough to kill somebody, blah, blah, blah. But, I would still be going. So, still tested positive while I was there. They accused me of sneaking stuff in, and that's the even fucked up part was baby daddy wouldn't even bring my kids in to see me because he wanted to hurt me. So like what Sundays there would be like family visit day where he could have came in, the kids could have came in, I'd even see him. So they accused me of him bringing stuff in to get me high, and I'm like, yeah, that's not the case. He's not once came up here to visit me. So ended up getting out, seeing the kids, was doing the visiting process, deal with that, and went right back to fucking using heroin. And shortly after that, actually, I orchestrated some shit. Got caught, and they hit me with organized crime retail fraud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask where?
It was between like Lowe's and Home Depot. So what we would do is I would go in, take, like saw blades and stuff like that. Even there's certain electrical boxes that are worth a certain amount. Both of them, you could return things up to $500, but you could only do it 3 times a year, and the person would have to have their ID, and they would give a gift card. Well, you could either sell that gift card, for half price, or you can turn around and buy, it used to be a golden Visa gift card, and transfer all that money to that Visa, and it would act just the same as cash.
Okay.
So
were the shoplifting and the organized retail fraud the only legal issues, or was there more?
that only felony, but I've had like resisted arrest, disorderly conduct, retail fraud, trespassing.
What'd you trespass on? I'm always curious.
I want to say it was probably one of the nights that I was belligerent, and they wanted me out of their establishment, and I was putting up a fight. I can't remember. There's a few of those, and then the other So there's one that I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember, and then the other 2 trespassing is because like if you get caught shoplifting somewhere, you're banned. If you come back, they can hit you with not only with what you stole with, but the trespassing. So, and I was stealing for my addiction. So
you said you tried to get clean. You went to Washington Way. You went back to heroin. Were you like speedballing at the time?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. I was mixing heroin and meth. and smoking crack. Anything and everything I could get my hands on. And I wasn't really working on trying to get my kids back. After I got the organized crime, I got picked up on that. And they didn't like close my CPS case out just yet. They ended up working with treatment court. Treatment court sent me to Odyssey House. Now, this is the first time that I was in treatment court. I've been in treatment court twice. Did not successfully complete the first time. So I got sent up to Odyssey House. This is my second rehab. Did 10 months. And even then, though, like when I was at Odyssey House, they switched my caseworkers to somebody up in that area, and she was a complete fucking bitch. Come to find out, they're supposed to actually like meet you halfway where you're at, especially if you're trying to seek help for your substance use. She wouldn't do that. I remember fighting, barely being able to visit my kids. And they did a trauma assessment on my youngest, and because of that trauma assessment, they wouldn't let me the visitation with the youngest. Apparently, like anytime my youngest would visit with me, he would go back and like bite and kick the other kids in the house. Which, I mean, I get. He's seeing mom, and then he's not allowed to see mom. So what do you think, a 4-year-old at the time is going to do? He's going to act out. Plus, he's on the spectrum. So, yeah. So I go to Flint Honesty House. I made it 10 months. Something in my brain just flipped, and I gave up. Ended up running for 10 months. Got really, really fucking dark and down and like rock bottom. So not only did I become homeless, I lost rights to my kids. Baby daddy moved away. I'm at this point pretty much selling my body for drugs. Using on top of, having the diagnoses that I do, just really unhealed and wanted to die.
Did you ever like purposefully attempt? Because I know that when you use a lot, it's like your brain's like, oh, I'm just trying to feel better. But like,
no, so actually I attempted twice. Was with one of my friends. And the first time, I remember waking up in the shower, them smacking the fucking piss out of me and me taking a breath. The second time I was with somebody that actually had Narcan. And I guess I was like unconscious, no breath for like 3 to 4 minutes, woke up and remember yelling, fucking Narcan. Yeah.
I've heard you wake up pissed.
Yeah.
I heard it's like you are pissed.
Yeah, no. And like I was there. I seen my life, everything flash. It kind of like moved backwards. I seen the lights. I was there. But Narcan saved me. So that's one reason too, like I'm a huge fucking advocate for Narcan because it does save lives. But after that, like, I ended up checking myself into the Anderson building a few times. Got out a few more times. And I remember at one point, like, thinking, like, I have nothing. Homeless. Not a dollar to my name. hanging out with this guy, you know, he's getting me high, cool. I went through a few months of that, and then I think it was like October. So like right as you can smell the air changing, you know, into fall, I remember looking at the guy that I was hanging out and saying to him, because I just had this weird feeling overcome my body. Couldn't explain it. Looked at him, said, something weird's gonna happen today. And I remember him getting so pissed because he had one too. He said, don't you wish that on me, don't jinx me, blah blah blah. We carried on our day. We scored some dope, got high. We ended up getting into it actually right here over on Buddy's, and there was a cop rolling by. The cop recognized the guy that I was with, pulled in, ran both of our names, and of course I had to put up a fight. So I mean, I didn't have to give him an ID. I wasn't committing any crimes. And then shortly after, I was like, all right, yeah, you know, I got a warrant. It's a felony warrant. Gave him my name, put handcuffs on me, and I remember that ride in. I've never been so relieved to be fucking put in handcuffs. And that's what shortly turned into my recovery journey now.
What does recovery mean to you?
Being better than the person you were yesterday.
Would you say that the feeling of relief was that you were just tired of it?
Tired. Not just tired, like relieved too. For once, it was, you know, like me giving up with, you know, when I hit my rock bottom, it was me giving up on that whole life right there. In a good way, not in a negative aspect.
Would you say, because like they talk about like the spiritual awakening, right? Like,
Yes.
and in recovery and like anonymous groups, where it's like they have this experience. Would you say that the weird feeling was like?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It was something that I still can't describe to this day. The woo-woo, you know, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. I just remember waking up and I'm like, something weird's gonna happen today. And being okay with it. Like I was actually like happy and relieved that something was gonna happen. I just couldn't put my finger on what.
So is this the second time that you got into recovery?
Yep.
Okay. How did that go?
Actually really well. So not gonna lie, the first year I was fucking a miserable bitch. I hated everybody and everything. But I stuck it out and ended up completing rehab in Warren County. Yeah. It was a program called Share. And basically what it was so like if you were on probation or parole and you were a flight risk or an absconder, that's where they would send you. It was a 4-month-long program. I did really well, and it's a lockdown facility. Like even the little resident aides had the keys. So in order to go outside to smoke, they had to unlock the doors. And coming back, they have to unlock the doors. The only like real way without an unlocked door was the fire escape, which a lot of the females just booked it. For it being a lockdown facility, like I was actually there and felt really free. I was able to figure out what some of my core issues were and what I was going through and work on me.
Did they like also, besides like substance use issues, they also like provided some mental health stuff?
Yes. Yep. I had a counselor who has all kinds of freaking credentials behind, you know, the alphabet soup behind her name. Mm-hmm. And she was like badass. And actually, we are friends on Facebook, and I see her every once in a while at different like sober events.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Did you do the recovery out loud?
Yes. Yep. We go every year. It's like a tradition.
So what was like the process? So you said you felt really free. You were in this lockdown facility. Like what changed? Like obviously you continued
Yeah.
in the recovery world.
I later on, like it took me a minute because I didn't know if I necessarily actually wanted it, but I kept pushing forward. Like the longer I stayed sober, good things were happening. So got a year clean. Actually, my Aunt Belle, who used to work for ARE, was like, "Hey, when you get close to a year clean, come see me. I'm gonna introduce you to these, people." And actually, quote unquote, I got a bunch of fucked up people to introduce you to. I was like, "Oh, that's my kind of people."
Mm-hmm.
So, got a year clean. Aunt Val introduced me to some of the people out there. I remember doing lunch, hanging out with members. Ended up putting my app in, and then shortly after, like I got a call for an interview, so I got hired in. Got hired in as drop-in staff. I had to work on my GED to do the CPSS. Ended up getting my GED for
Stealer.
CPSS.
Come on, it's
I will
me.
pet her.
I know.
I will pet her.
I don't want everybody looking at her butthole though. So
You should have butthole. It's good butthole, isn't it? So like after I got that job, had a year, graduated treatment court, and just the longer I stayed sober, things just started falling into place, I guess. So, worked my butt off to get where I am today, but like graduated treatment court, cool, still on probation. I ended up getting discharged early from probation, and I remember looking at the discharge paper. Oh, hey, guess what? I can go get high.
Oh,
Yeah, literally, that was my first fucking thought.
really?
Yes, first thought wrong. Looked at it, and I remember like this is back when like I was doing meetings left and right. I do still do the meetings here and there, but not as much as what I used to. But I remember going in and telling that myself. And then I was still in counseling, so I told my counselor, and we worked through that, and really, really thought about it. I'm like, all right, do I really want to use, or is it just the fact that I'm free that I can? So I ended up staying sober even after probation. Was still living with was my husband's best man, Nate Bones. And honestly, like if it wasn't for Nate Bones and my husband, I don't know if I would have made it that far.
Can you talk about how you met your husband?
Home New Vision, actually. He was being a creepy old man in the corner with his little puppy dog. Like, you want to pet my dog?
But she's so cute though.
I will fight that dog. You only knew.
Okay.
Yeah, so like my husband's in recovery, so that's how we met. Started talking to him. He actually invited me out for food one day, and I'm a fucking tourist and I love food, so I was like, oh yeah. Ended up having really, really good conversations with him, and slowly one thing led to another, and I married his old ass.
I was gonna say, and then you married an old man. So
Yeah, I married a senior citizen. I love dearly.
So how long have you been recovered?
I will be going on 7 years October 3rd.
Yeah. What part of recovery were you unprepared for?
Mm.
It could be good, it could be bad, but
The success part. So like the longer I stayed sober, we became resident managers at Andy's, and I didn't know how to successfully navigate that role.
can
It
you
was
talk
really
a little
hard.
bit about it? Like without, I don't know, like, can you just talk about it, about like sober living and how that?
Yeah. So like with Andy's place, you have to. It used to be they have two other buildings going up, and I don't know like what the stipulation or guidelines are in order to get into those two. But the big two that we managed, you had to be in a treatment court out of 5 different counties, on probation, already past the rehab part. So like we're getting these people in, that are anywhere between 3 to 9 months sober. And let's be real, I think I had like 3 years clean time. So I didn't have that much more clean time than these people, like it's like, oh fuck. They expect me to be professional.
Imposter syndrome. Much?
Yeah. And that's really what it was too. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I struggled quite a bit with that. It was like constantly an inner dialogue, like, well, if you do this, you know better than that. And are you really who you think you are? So that was quite a struggle. But later on, like after being there a year, because we stayed there for like 3.5 years, it did become easier and easier. But being in the management role, it was stressful. I was seeing people relapse. I Narcan people. I found somebody overdosed that I was not able to save. And I kept on thinking like, this could be me.
So did that like deter you from using again? Like I know like you said you had that thought initially when you first got out, but like the longer you stayed sober, like the less that thought was, or like
Yes.
actively seeing people.
I think working in the recovery community and seeing people struggling, I had it in the back of my head that like me and Edward at one point in time really were like all they had as supports that they could trust. So it kept me sober and going because I kept thinking like, if I go use, I'm not going to be any good to them. Mm-hmm. So it held me accountable. Absolutely.
At what point?
Excuse me, are you going to show me your butthole?
At what point? Because I know that you said you had lost the rights your first time around in recovery court, right?
Yeah.
At what point did you like find out they were adopted, and then at what point did she actually reach out?
My second go around in treatment court. Like I would always reach out to her. She would hardly message back. Every once in a while, she would send me a picture of them. But it wasn't until like year 2 of being sober that she would ask me questions or let me know, hey, the boys asked about you. What can I tell them? And then at year 3, like just I wouldn't even have to ask for pictures constantly, just boop, 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 back to back. And it got to like we have a relationship now. Like if there's something, that I'm thinking of, or if I have baby pictures that pop up, I'm able to send them to her. And if the kids are talking about something that they're struggling with, she'll ask me questions to help answer, what they're asking. So.
How do you cope with that?
Continuing forward, because I'm hoping that one day they do want to meet me. And I don't want to go backwards. And, what happens if they do want to meet me and, I'm back in my addiction? Nobody's going to want to talk to, a mom like that. So I stay sober and keep moving forward and keep building, because eventually, they're going to want to know who I am. And when they're mature enough to understand, I'll be there waiting with open arms. And hopefully I can give them the explanation that they're looking for.
Have your Coke. It got real heavy there. Yeah.
I told you I was gonna cry like a baby back bitch.
That's okay. We're gonna lighten it up. Pepsi or Coke?
Oh. Diet cherry Pepsi. In a
Okay.
bottle. Be specific.
Pizza or burgers?
Burgers.
Burgers or tacos?
Tacos.
Um,
Tacos are superior to all food.
they are the perfect form. They're also handheld. No utensils. If you met a unicorn in the forest, what would you do?
Ride that motherfucker.
Okay. All right.
After I grow its horn. Oh, grossly.
Just want to make sure it's real. What is your learning style?
Hands on. You can go ahead and give me verbal direction, but I'm going to stare at you like I'm a student. So,
Okay. How are things now?
beautiful. So we resigned from Andy's. We have a beautiful house. I have 3 fur babies, even though I really don't want to claim the freaking 3.5 pound rat.
She's so cute.
She's not even a dog. Let's be real. I poop bigger than her. Honestly, life is beautiful. There is times, with what I do, like career wise, that I do struggle mentally. But at the end of the day, like I have a great support system in place. That if I am struggling, I can reach out, and I know how to reach out now. I'm not alone. I can be introverted. I am like a cat. I come around when I need loves, as Amanda says. But my husband is great. I actually have a life that is worth living, and I want more. I have a fucking boat with a V8.
Hell yeah, you do.
Speaking of that, we gotta put the rollers on so we can, too.
So excited. Okay. If you could talk to younger you, would you get along with younger you, and would younger you get along with you now?
I think so. Younger me was a little bit more wild than older me, but
Which is crazy for me to even imagine, by the way, because you crazy lady. Like in a good way.
yeah, no, it was more like pent up rage all the time. So
Okay.
yeah. But even as the pent up rage as younger child, like I was still pretty easygoing. And I think younger me would actually sit down for maybe three minutes, because I do have ADHD, and listen for the whole 3 minutes.
You said life is beautiful now. Did
Yes.
you ever, was there a point that you didn't think that would be possible for you?
Yeah. I really struggled actually living life. I didn't think I'd get to where I am now.
If you had a word of advice for anybody who has went through anything similar to things that you have, what would it be?
Not to bottle it up, and to speak about it, because all you're doing is keeping that inside to a point where you're not going to be able to heal. The more you talk about it, the more you can heal.
What is healing to you? Because healing is different than recovery, right?
Yes,
Right.
it is. Healing for me is working on myself, getting to say the gross parts out loud and not feel ashamed, and constantly, changing.
So I'm on a 10-minute warning. Nathan always likes to throw that in there. So I'm gonna stick to his format. So I just had a question and it totally lost my mind. So what I'm gonna do?
ADHD.
Yes, the train left the station. Oh, what do you feel connected to?
My senior citizen for a husband.
Okay.
I'm gonna put him in Shady Pines one day. No, I feel very connected to my husband. Actually, he's my person.
Now, was it a struggle getting sober together? Like, would there be days that like you triggered each other, or maybe there was days where it was like you guys kept each other from using?
I think we kept each other from using. But he's got a little bit more screen time than I do.
Mm-hmm.
So me and him being able to like openly talk about, the drug use and the war stories and things that have happened in our childhood, because he's got a similar childhood like I do. Mom and dad, though, were actually like there and present. It helped us be able to heal and move through it and know that we're not alone. I definitely would say we bonded over it and connected even more.
What is self-care to you?
My boat right now, the motorcycle apparently.
Does it change?
I can't figure out what I want to drive according to Edward's best friend.
I mean, you could drive both at the same time.
Listen, I thought about that. I was like, what if we get like little ramps and I can like ride my bike into the boat and then, go around on land and then, pull it up and turn it into like a water bike off into the land.
You should get an amphibian. Like a car that turns into a boat and you can just drive out. Yeah.
You both. I like both.
How would you describe burnout to somebody who may not know what that is?
I'd say in my line of work where you're just anything and everything sets you off. You're tired, you're irritable, you're over it. Like I get to a point where, which I've experienced burnout recently, and it's getting a little bit better. Where anybody and everybody was getting on my nerves, and it could be like one of my favorite people. I'm like, can you just quit talking to me? I don't want to hear your voice. Yeah, you're done with people.
Like your own breath pisses you off. Yeah,
you get on your own nerves.
Yeah.
Just you're fed up with everybody, and like you can tell with the irritation. Another thing I've noticed too is either I'll overeat or I don't eat enough. That's when I'm like, all right, I'm getting to that point where I am burned out. So like your eating habits change a little bit. You're eating crap, or you're not, eating at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find a couple more in here. Ooh, what word or phrase do you say too much?
Oh, fun fact.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say your mom.
That too. It's fun fact, your mom. And I also click.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have all my staff saying on there. I'm like, what did I do?
Ooh, what crime would you like to investigate?
Ooh, can it be like?
Could be any crime you want.
Can it be non-fictional, fictional?
Yeah.
Dexter.
Yeah.
I would like to go after him and investigate his crimes.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with Dexter.
Okie dokie. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Fucking cat, so I could show my asshole to everybody.
Just put it on stuff.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
just put it in my butt.
Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't?
No, I think you got most of it.
Is there anything that you wanted to share? Do a shout out? Any sort of thing like that?
I love you, Edward Forbes. We're done.
Pew pew. What is your definition of success?
Being better than the person I was yesterday. And it could be like the slightest being better, Yesterday, let's say I forgot to put on deodorant. Today I did, because that's a true story. So I feel like it's better than yesterday.
Do you hype yourself up though? Like, yay! Give yourself a sticker.
I should.
Very motivating.
Yes, I need them stickers. I love them. I need adult stickers though.
You need to get the book where you can take the stickers on and off and re-stick them to move them on pages and they don't lose their stickiness.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. right.
Hmm.
I'd be constantly moving everything around.
So, I asked my one question about the younger you.
Yeah.
You only get one word. Has to be one. Can't be made up, mashed up words.
Okay.
One word.
Real whole word.
One real whole word.
Okay.
Only one to describe your entire journey. From where you started to where you are now to even maybe where you think you'll end up.
Mm. I'm thinking that's a hard one. Mm. Thriving.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything I can do better?
Tissue.
Yeah.
Your logo.
Tissues with the logo.
Yep.
Got it.
No, you did great. You made me comfortable. I told you I was nervous beforehand. A little sweaty, but not as much.
Yeah, but that happens. Like, you should see Nathan. Like, he paces. And then like 5 minutes in here, he's like, and then after about 5-10 minutes, he's like, oh, okay.
It wasn't that bad.
I said, just a conversation. It's like,
Yeah, no.
and you forget it's here, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not staring at you because listen, this one time I did an interview on JTV and they're like, don't look at the camera. And I'm like,
You're like, hi, hello.
hi, camera. Don't tell me to look at something. I'm going to look at it the whole time.
So I'm gonna do a quick Google, a juggle, because I, at last minute, forgot our gift card, but I did do an e-gift card, and it is from Doordash. So Doordash's mission statement is, give me 1 second, I am by myself on this one. To empower local economies by connecting consumers, merchants, and dashers. They aim to deliver local commerce solutions that benefit these three key groups. They strive to be the shortest distance between every local store and people's doors. And I don't have anything physical because I texted it to you.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
And last question. We sign our freaking table?
Yes.
Sweet. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, shit. Oh.
Can I put, can I put whatever I want?
You can do it anywhere you want. We're actually running out of room, so if you want to switch sides, that's cool too. We're going to end the live video. This is taking forever and I don't know where.